Birds of Prey, issue 24, legacy number 222, Kelly Thompson writing with Sami Basri on the art. So this kind of wraps up the arc in some ways, in that it ends this sort of like we're trying to save Barda from ink stuff. But the villainous team do get away, and they're still kind of the focus going forward. So we're kind of, so we've ended an arc, but it's kind of like the part of a multi-arc kind of overall story, which is fair enough. So, you know, the last issue ended with the reserves coming in to help with the fight. So we got Grace Choi and Harley and Vixen and all that.
Onyx.
Yeah. Yes, say the one whose name I was never going to remember. Very good. I'm pleased.
I got you. I got you.
So yeah, so we get some fight stuff here. Vixen using her powers. What's the shadow cat thing called?
Oh.
Thank you, Poe.
Poe.
Yeah. But yeah, Sally gets hurt and gets knocked back against the wall, and they kind of get worried about that a little bit. There's a big 2-page layout where Canary's like using her cry, and you know, again, a lot of kinetic stuff here. Onyx at one point gets thrown out of a window by Inked Up Barda, and I think it's Grace has to like dive and grab her, and it's just a really good sequence because again, much like we were talking about in the last book. Like the panel where she's going flying out the window, the one where she's actually on the outside and all the glasses, the glass is broken. I can speak. Simple thing. The panel is just shaped, where it's getting wider on the one side. I guess it's technically a trapezium, but on its side. But anyway,
like a trapezoid.
A trapezoid, yeah.
You know,
but it's wider on one side, and it's wider on the side in the direction that she's going. So you get this sense of momentum along with just the direction she's actually moving in, and the panels of glass are also flying in that direction. It's just again simple little trick where the panel shape adds to the the actual action that's taking place in the thing. So. Yeah, Canary. In fact, the next page I quite like as well because it's like basically the idea that Canary just sort of like circles the room with her cry. Because you see her hitting a couple of the villains, and then it's like she's turning, and then she eventually gets round to Inked Up Barda, and Constantine's doing a spell to sort of contain her and trap her, and she's like, clever, but yeah, I can already feel this fading. This won't hold me for long, and. It's Cass who comes up and looks up, and it's a great panel where Barda's towering over, so she really does feel like Little Bat looking up at her, and she pulls out the staff, but said
the Mega Rod.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the Mega Rod. Isn't that Barda's only she can hold?
Well, I'm not sure it is because it's the thing that Oh no, it's a different one. Oh wait, so I was getting confused because later on they're talking about the bad guy's staff, which looks very similar, and I was wondering if it was that she had. The Mega Rod makes. I thought it was the Mega Rod in the moment, but then later on when we were talking about the guy's staff, I got confused. But yeah, she has the Mega Rod
because they made a big deal earlier in the series that Barda's the only one that's powerful enough, right, to do it. So it makes sense that they just need to get it into her hands because Barda's still under there, right?
Yeah,
like Ink is just.
Yeah, Ink,
over her.
Ink can't hold it, so basically it forces Ink to leave Barda's body. And then I really like the little touch here where Barda screams when she's free, and Canary's just like, "Oh, I didn't consider how pissed Barda's going to be when she gets out."
Yeah, and I love on the page after that, on the very bottom, her head takes up like the whole panel, and she just goes, "Also, have any of you ever been to the moon?" Talking to the villain group because she's going to be so mad she's going to throw him to the moon. Yeah. Very, very fun.
Yeah, it's because the helmet's so wide, it's sort of reaching this wide panel almost to the sides. It's very... And Canary basically says, hey, if you cooperate and tell us what we need to know and get us all the stolen tech back, nobody will get thrown to the moon. And then Barda just says, nobody but Ink. It's like, Ink's... Yeah, no debate. Ink's getting punished for what she did to me.
And then if you look behind him, Ink's making an escape.
Yeah, through the vent.
Into the ceiling. And I just thought, oh man, so much fun little details at play here.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fight at the start's like solid enough. I think it gets particularly good once we get to the build up of what their plan actually is. And then I think the emotional impact and the fun of like Barda becoming free. And the fact that it's Cass is the one to do it because their friendship's been blossoming throughout this entire run is especially good. And I really like. Where things get a bit weird though is when they all think everything's calmed down and they've won. Megara starts freaking out and attacking everyone. And it's because the gold tiger dude, is that his name? What's I keep forgetting his name.
Gold Lion.
Gold Lion.
Golden Lion. Yeah, Golden Lion.
He uses his rod to control Megara, which was established that he could do that before. He tries to pick up the Mega Rod and yells out in like sort of pain. But he does like he's able to like get it to make a boom tube. He sort of like stutters and like is in pain, but he's like boom tube, mummy home or something is what he's trying to say.
It's boom tube to my home, but I thought he was saying boom tube to mommy.
That's what I thought he said.
What the hell is going on? But I went back and re-looked over, and it's like, it's a boom tube to my home, which is very weird that he's able to, to do that so effectively. So I know they're time travel-y, timey-wimey stuff, but still, a bit curious.
Well, one, it's clearly hurting them to hold it, right? So they're still kind of keeping up with things. But maybe the idea is that because he has his staff, which is also his powerful rod, maybe he can withstand it a bit more than most people would. Is the idea? I mean, maybe I'm.
Well, I'm just saying, just the idea that he knows how to activate the boom tube technology of it and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's something up. I feel like there's a bit of a tell.
Matt, you literally just asked for a boom tube. It's not rocket science. He just said, "Give me a boom tube." And it appeared.
Yeah, but again,
it's not like getting a space shuttle and having to know which switches to flip. he's like, give me a boom tube. It's like talking to Alexa. You just ask for porn and it'll provide porn. It's that simple.
Well, that's where your brain went automatically. Also, kids, don't do that with the Alexa. Don't do that. Or a boom tube for that matter. You never know where you're gonna end up.
Yeah, boom tube to the porn instead. That's an idea.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, I do like the like. I felt like we got a nice wrap up, but there's still a lot in the air, right? So I feel like this was a fitting like a what's the word I'm looking for? A fulfilling ending.
Yeah, just to establish here, the entire villain team sneaks out the boom tube, right? They're able to grab the Mega Rod back. Megara sort of grabs it for Barda, just as they're leaving. So they still have that, but the villains have gotten away, and they've still got all the stolen tech, the stolen drugs, all the stuff they were doing. And the big point they make up as they're talking in the following pages, other than some of the good friendly stuff, because they're all having dinner together with all the reserves and they're bonding. There's an implication that Harley might have taken a dump in one of their beds when they were searching the place. So that's amusing. But the main thing they get to once the reserves leave, and it's just the core 5 again who are left, is this idea that even though they kind of won, it feels like the villain team kind of basically built their plans so that, okay, there's layers of success to this, and if the birds beat us on this level, it's okay because we've still achieved these other things. So they're still kind of steps ahead. So they're basically saying, hey, let's get to work, and Barbara's like ready to start calling shots and giving people ideas. But the cliffhanger at the end of the issue is that out of nowhere, Barda jumps up on the table and runs over to the wall and just puts her hand all the way through it. And when she brings her hand back, she's holding Ink by the neck. Ink has come to see them. And the implication to me is that she's not here because she was like, I think she wanted to come talk to them. That's the implication I get, is that she's actually here to talk to them for some reason. Obviously, Barda's pissed. I mean, the last line of the book is her saying, "Speak to me, I dare you." So, now, it could be a trick, potentially, but maybe Ink, for some reason, wants to turn on her team and wants to help the birds in some capacity. That would be a turn for an interesting pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with Ink from Batman Beyond, but she was basically a corporate spy, right? And she was kind of loyal to no one but herself. And I'm wondering if that's the direction Kelly Thompson's going to go with this. Her effectively, that she's just going to try to spin it to, how she can make out of here unscathed as possible. But with Barda, I don't know if that's going to be possible. Because you feel like Barda's the type that you don't get to control over my body and leave unscathed.
Yeah, I mean...
So, she still feels pissed, so...
This is like a weird element to this issue where part of me almost wants to feel like not disappointed. That's not even quite the right word.
Mhm.
But it just feels a little weird that it kind of felt like we kind of wrapped up the arc. But it felt quick, but at the same time, it's not really over yet because the villains got away, and there's kind of like a weird feeling to that to me. But having said that, like so many of the beats in this issue, I really liked. I loved the ending with Barda grabbing ink. I loved Cass giving the rod to Barda. I love some of the fights. The villains getting away is the one, and it's not because like they're potentially some of the best stuff might be what happens next with them. So I don't want to like judge it and say this was a bad choice. It's just that in the moment it kind of felt like, oh, they're getting away. It feels a little bit, I guess, like, oh, we're still dealing with this team for the foreseeable future, which again, what they do next with them might be great. It just felt a little bit weird in the moment because I thought we were getting more of an ending, I guess, but yeah. It's kind of a minor quibble overall, though.
But I like that overall. I feel like Kelly Thompson's telling a full story. It's not just the arc by arc. Yeah. Right. That there is a grand plan, and she's seeding it out as it goes, which I like that it's taking its time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love that the first arc was all about the Megira and Sin stuff, and that's still a constant thing in the book that's happening in the background, and you know there's going to be more payoff to it. I loved that they set up the whole time traveling thing, which led to Sela, and Sela's now kind of one of these like reserve members that comes in. Like everything feels like there's a lot of continuity with the overall run, and I really like that. So any quibble I have is pretty minor here because ultimately, I still loved all the characters. I loved a lot of the moments. It's just that one element of it just kind of feels like a weird plot beat, I guess, to me. It feels a little bit sort of like stop and start, I guess. But
it is a bit, that's what I said, it is a bit odd, but it still feels fulfilling seeing them sitting there eating at the table, right? Like, they're like, oh, we stopped them for now, and they brought in all the reserve members, so we get this big, fun, you know, what's that called? Like, is that the denouement of a movie? Right? When everything's kind of ended and we get to, and then we jump right into the next part, you know. So it was this weird, like it felt fulfilling, but yeah, I want to know where this goes still. Like there's still a bunch in the air.
I guess them getting away feels a little bit like, oh, Rita Repulsa got away. We'll get her next week on Power Rangers.
Yeah,
you know, like
that makes sense.
You know, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're not going to do it repeatedly in this. It's probably a one-time thing, but I guess that's what it makes me feel like. Is like, oh, the villains got away, so we can still fight them again next time. But hey, and maybe if like I knew like at least just one of the villains better, where there was someone that I cared about, where I'm excited that they're still around, that would make me feel better about it. But because it's kind of
you're not a big Copperhead guy.
That's okay. It's, you know, it's a team of C and D listers, and even that's maybe being generous.
Even then, even Ink's the only one I'm not familiar with, and that's only because I was obsessed with Batman Beyond as a kid, right? The rest of them, like, I don't know who the pixie looking dude is. I can't even remember his name. The one with all the tech gadgets.
Yeah.
You know, and then getting, was it Velvet Tiger, Golden Lion confused? Like, are they hanging out with Bronze Tiger? Like, what's that naming stuff? But yeah, Copperhead's the only other one that I recognize, and he's like, I'd say D-list at best.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe if we had one that was a bit more familiar, it would feel a little bit, you know, a little bit more fulfilling. But
we talked about the art a fair bit earlier in the fight stuff, and like how the paneling really helped with the Barda stuff. So you know, quite happy with all that. Little touch as well, actually, is this the second last page when it's the 5 team members sitting talking, and it's, you know, obviously the next page starts with Barda realizing they're being watched, and she jumps out of the seat. Those 3 panels on the previous page, I actually think it's from Ink's POV, like she's watching them from behind, you know, an opening. So it's something that I didn't even think about as I was reading it, but I'm just noticing it now and thinking, oh, that's a nice touch. So
yeah, too. Yeah, and I like there that it feels too like something's closing in on him, right? Because you have it's almost like a curtain there. So a lot of fun little details there.
Yeah. All right. What are you rating Birds of Prey?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
I'll just go straight 8 because of the quibble that I had with the stop-startiness of the villains getting away. But like ultimately, like the next part of the story with them could be like even better, and I won't care once we've got to that part. But just in the moment, it feels a little bit weird. So, but very good overall though. Still enjoying it a ton.